unwilling to risk a lot of chips against even a small pair. Ace-Queen is a huge hand pre-flopping heads up, but Kata having his doubts.
If Joe does find it within himself to make this call, Darvin will be in big trouble.
It's pretty sick fold.
But Joe lays down the bigger ace.
He'll be sick about that fold.
Darvin did not have him, but he does have the pot.
I had a monster.
I had a big hand, too.
The big hand was bigger than the monster.
How big was your pair?
Huh?
How big was your pair?
No answer from Joe Kata. At this stage of the game, he doesn't want to divulge any information to his opponent. There is so much at stake right now as we take a look at the final table ticker sponsored by FullTiltPoker.net. The men listed in the column on the right did win millions at the main event, but the champions on the left are forever a part of poker history and will never be forgotten.
Moon and Kata even in chips now.
Action on Darvin Moon. Looks down at Jack-9 offsuit.
They've been calling him Darvin Gump online. He is an American original.
Raised to $3 million from Moon. Joe Kata now, also with Jack-9 offsuit.
Kata supporters have taken to calling him simply the Kid.
Kata calls.
Ooh, and now we're going to get to see the Kid and Gump play the same hand.
The flop is 10-9-8, middle pair, and an up and down straight draw for both. The two clubs in the flop give Darvin a slight edge.
Lon, they both have middle pair and the same draw.
That's why we pay you the big bucks. Kata checked. Darvin, as he loves to do, bets $5 million.
Both of them hit that flop good. Both of them have got to love their hands.
Joe going to make a raise here? Nope, just a call of $5 million.
Joe's usually pretty aggressive. I thought he would have raised in that spot.
All right, here we go to the turn now. King of diamonds, no flush possibilities, so a showdown would mean a split pot, as you see by the 2 check marks. Kata checked.
Joe might be letting Darvin lead the action. I think Joe likes his hand and wants to see Darvin step into it.
Darvin staying with his pattern of aggression, bets $15 million.
Darvin raised pre-flop. He has now also bet the flop and the turn. Let's see how Joe Kata reads it.
Another big hand for these families to suffer through.
Geez, it looks like the logger has the heads-up specialist flummoxed here, unless Kata's thinking about a check raise.
Joe lays down his hand.
Boy, Kata again befuddled by the amateur.
Darvin Moon playing the same hand as Kata takes that pot, much to the delight of his supporters.
Darvin was aggressive, Kata was passive, aggression paid off.
The logger from Maryland chips away at the young gun Kata and once again has the chip lead. The Penn and Teller Theater still packed. We are heads up for the main event championship. Logger Darvin Moon and young Joe Kata.
Well, we made it longer than I thought we would. I figured you'd have me on the rail by now.
Playing well. You're playing really well.
Thanks. You are too.
Darvin is playing well enough to have extended his chip lead. Joe Kata with over $61 million. Darvin with almost $134 million.
Kata seems surprised about how tough Darvin has been. Darvin's humble boy routine has him close to a world championship.
Action starts on Joe Kata with Jack-9 off.
Kata sometimes plays 40 tournaments a day online, but never against Darvin. Darvin's never even played online.
Kata with a raise with his Jack-9 to $3 million. Darvin looks down at 8-7 of spades. And he will make the call for $1.8 million more as he tries to put the young Joe Kata away. The flop is 10-5-9. Kata hits a pair of nines. Moon an up and down straight draw. Darvin checks. Joe checks middle pair. Turn card now is another 10. Kata still ahead.
We've seen the same pattern from Joe Kata. I think he keeps trying to get Darvin to be overly aggressive.
Darvin's just going to check it. Well, Joe, will he bet it this time? And he does. $3 million.
He sat on his hand on the flop, decides to pull the trigger here.
Darvin giving this some thought.
Come on, Imp.
Moves all in. That's enough to put Kata all in.
Wow. Kata says Darvin plays ABC poker. Darvin reaching deeper into the alphabet here, asking Joe Kata if he's willing to risk his main event right now. If I'm Joe Kata, I'd have a hard time believing Darvin has a 10 in his hand making that raise. But then again, this is for everything.
I call.
Kata makes the call. What a read by the young gun. And this puts Joe Kata in position to retake control of this matchup.
With just middle pair, Joe Kata makes the tough call, and what a call it was.
Darvin Moon's over-aggressive play may be handing the reins back to Joe Kata, but if Moon can hit the river, he will be the most unlikely world champion ever. We have seen both of these players catch cards at this final table. Right now, Joe Kata needs to dodge danger to survive.
Darvin still got 7 outs to complete his improbable journey. With a jack or a 6 on the river, Darvin Moon will be the main event champion.
The river card is a tray. Joe Kata doubles up.
Joe Kata with the call of his life. And Kata sits Darvin Moon back down and regains control of this heads-up match.
So the tables are turned on this heads-up match again. Darvin Moon, the shorter stack. Joe Kata in charge.
It's good bluff, though. It was good semi-bluff.
Good call, Joe. Good call.
Good play. Honestly, you're playing awesome.
It's fun. It's fun for me. I'm learning so much off you.
Like, I play heads up all the time. You're by far, like, a really, like, tough opponent.
Quite a bit of respect being shown between these two last men standing.
Lon, it's been a final table I don't want to see end. It has been scintillating.
Every hand has the whole crowd on the edge of their seats. The World Championship bracelet and $8.5 million up for grabs. Action starts on Joe Kata. Joe with pocket nines.
Kata was a moneymaker baby boomer. He started playing online in his teens after watching Chris Moneymaker's main event win.
And a standard raise now to $3 million. Darvin Moon, queen jack of diamonds. And Moon looks like he's going to raise it up. He will make it $8 million to stick around.
Darvin consistent at this entire final table in his aggression.
Joe needs 5 to call.
Small one.
Now Kata is the aggressor trying to put Darvin Moon all in.
And now it's Darvin's moment of truth. Is he willing to risk it all here?
Call.
And Darvin makes the call with his suited queen jack.
Wow, Darvin plays by different rules, and he makes that all-in call for $64 million.
So here we go. Joe Kata on the precipice of becoming the youngest world champion ever.
Phil Hellmuth's record as youngest main event champ stood for 19 years. Peter Eastgate's record could be wiped out in 1.
And here is the flop. 8-7. That is a good flop for Joe Kata.
Great flop.
Darvin takes it in stoically. Kata can't look.
Relax.
I'm relaxed.
That chant has gotten Kata through so many difficult moments. And now the turn card. It's a king. That's the only paint Darvin doesn't have.
The main event champion of the world.
On day 3, Kata jokingly told Peter Eastgate he would break his record. Now he's 1 card away from doing it. Darvin Moon needs a queen or a jack, or Joe Kata will be the main event champ.
And that 7 will end it. Joe Kata rewrites poker history, becoming the youngest main event champ ever.
You played a hell of a match. Good hand. You played a hell of a match. Seriously, all props in the world.
He's a kid with a dream come true. 21 years, 11 months, 21 days old.
So many times Joe was almost out of here, but each time managed to survive. An overwhelming moment for Joe's mom and for young Joe himself.
You win some, you lose some.
Darvin Moon, unlikely, unexpected, and until the end, unstoppable.
Oh, yeah.
The kid is now officially the comeback kid.